This
or
conference will
a
now be
patient or
recorded.
caregiver, no, that was delayed, uh, a patient or a caregiver. And then if there's anything on your mind that you want to discuss after we do introductions, we'll come back to you. George, can we start with you?
Yeah, sure. Like I said, my name is George. I was able to make one of these meetings before, so this is my second meeting. Um, I was diagnosed with RMC in February, and I immediately had my kidney taken out, um, and started chemo right away. Things are looking pretty good. I'm getting seen at UNC Rex in Raleigh, North Carolina as well. Um, Things was going great. It only had spread to like a one lymph node at the point where they got it out. And then they started me on chemo. I did 8 rounds of the Taxol and carboplatin, I think. No, 9 rounds. And it was pretty much holding it steady and good. But then I started having an allergic reaction to the Taxol. And they changed it. They're changing up my regimen now. I did have a spot come through on my lymph nodes in my right above my stomach. So they started radiation. I just completed 28 rounds of the radiation, which Andre fooled me a little bit. He told me it was going to be a little easier, but I thought that radiation was a little harder than the chemo in my eyes. It's an easier process as far as like going in and getting out 10 minutes in and out, but it definitely had me tired and I completed that last week, but other than that, I'm just dealing with a little bit of side effects of that, like real bad acid reflux and stuff like that. But they said would get under control in about 2 or 3 weeks, hopefully.
Okay. Well, happy to hear that things are going well. So, like, what's the next plan after, since you're done with
So
radiation?
yeah, so when I completed radiation, the one spot in my right above my stomach, when I say spot, I mean like the lymph node it just lit up just a little bit. That cleared up, but another 2 spots popped up in my chest. So they're hoping the new chemo regimen would knock that out, and I start that, and that's Jim. I slaughter these words. Jim Cinnabine and yeah, and um, they got it's kind of like Taxol, but it starts with an A. It's the same exact medicine as Taxol, but it's a little bit more of a
That's
premium version of it.
that Ambreeze. How was it, Andre? The Abraxane,
Yeah,
Abraxane.
yeah,
Jackson,
some
yes.
yeah, something like that. So I take those, and then I take the doxyruben, I believe it was called. So I start all 3 of those next week. But so far, it's been holding pretty steady. My CAS level's been not high. I mean, they've been around 10 to 12, fluctuating between the 10 and 13. So far so good. Just going through the motion.
Okay.
Awesome.
Dewan, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes. Hello. Good evening, everyone. My name is Dewan. My girlfriend here, Jasmine.
Hi.
My mom, Belinda, is also on the call, as well as my aunt, my Angela, Aunt Angie. I have a fairly recently diagnosis of RMC. It actually started in July 15th. Uh, Finally went to the um, urgent care after I had some pain in my hip, my back for about a month, and then started seeing some blood in my urine. Then Jazz was like, "Okay, you need to go ahead and go." So I went. Um, Long story short, urgent care sent me to the emergency room. The emergency room then told me I had a mass on my kidney, and I got admitted that day. And they actually took a biopsy, and I was misdiagnosed, and they said I had renal cell clear carcinoma with a rhabdoid feature. So then we end up getting a schedule for a radical nephrectomy August 12th. and they took out, it was on my right kidney. They took out my right kidney, and then maybe about 2 weeks ago, I had a oncology meeting, and they came back with a pathology report diagnosed with RMC. So today I had a CT scan on my abdomen, my chest, and my pelvic, and Friday I did a whole body bone scan CT. So I am in the early beginnings of my journey with this.
Where do you live,
I'm glad.
Devon?
Norfolk, Virginia.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
My brother
26.
used to live close there,
Okay,
over
what's the
there.
military?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I had a cousin in the military. I was actually over there this past June visiting my friend as well. Nice
Yeah,
nice
yeah.
area.
My dad did 20 years in the Navy. I currently work as a chief of staff for a state delegate in Virginia. So yeah, that's who I am, and definitely happy to be on the call.
Did you say chief of staff for a state delegate?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, we need you. We need
Well,
Samantha. Milton Wade is on
hope
this
y'all
call.
need me just as much as I need y'all.
Yes.
Where are you getting treated at, Dewan?
Okay, yeah, and that's actually so right now I'm getting treated at Brock Center Centera in Virginia Beach. I was able and I also, I mean, I was gonna wait till my questions and everything, but you all's advocacy made it when I got diagnosed to really start doing my research, and I actually been on YouTube looking at some of the past like things you all been doing, and I was able to get in touch with Dr. Masul, and I have a appointment with him September 19th to go down to Houston to meet with him. And my doctor, Dr. Fleming, my oncologist, he's was able to get in touch with him this week, and Dr. Masul was able to talk to him about some of the early scans that I have. So just trying to make sure we're being proactive and doing what the best we can do with what we have.
That's awesome. You're on the right track for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Alex, would you like to introduce yourself?
I was actually here at the meeting a month ago, but I don't mind reintroducing myself to the people who are new here. Should I do that? Is that
Yes.
Yes.
all right? So my name is Alex. I'm from Montreal, Canada. I was diagnosed with RMC in March. So basically, I ended up finding out because I had an uncontrollable cough for about a month and a half. I went to several doctors. No one could really figure out what it was. They thought I had an infection, something bacterial. Long story short, I finally ended up getting an x-ray, which was very alarming. They wanted to hospitalize me. They suspected that something else was going on. They did a thoracic and pelvic CT scan, which, like most of you, revealed a tumor on the kidney. So then that was on a Friday. So basically, I was living with that suspense for about a weekend. And then on the Monday, I was introduced to the oncology team who confirmed that I had kidney cancer, but that they were waiting to hear back from the pathologist to make sure that they were diagnosing me with the right type of kidney cancer. And it came back positive for RMC, which had spread to the lymph nodes that are in my lungs, which explained why I had an uncontrollable cough. Since then, it's been kind of a roller coaster just in terms of treatment. I initially started on Taxol, but I went into anaphylactic shock. It was an allergic reaction. So we switched it to gemcitabine, which was fine. But then we decided to go back to Taxol in a desensitized setting. So it's more progressive and you have less chance of reacting. That's been going really well. I've had a continued response and a lot of the cancer has shrunk. In the meantime, which is what I was saying last time, I had the opportunity to actually go down to Houston, Texas, and meet with Dr. Masul. It was really a privilege for my family and I to get to meet him. He's brilliant, very empathetic, and also very knowledgeable. He's obviously very passionate about the illness. He answered all our questions, spent so many hours with us, took a blood sample, urine sample, explained so many things to me about the illness, how it works. But most of all, what he gave us was a lot of hope. He was sharing a lot of positive stories about people who overcome the illness, who actually end up being disease free. And that just really made me feel good. And I came home with a better sense of direction. He called me last night actually to tell me that over the weekend he finalized his review of my PET scans with his radiology team, and that he had emailed my doctor, my oncologist, a treatment plan because I'm scheduled for treatment this Thursday, but he wants to up it and take it to the next level. So that's what essentially I'm. So tomorrow I'm meeting my oncologist, and on Thursday we would be starting this new treatment plan. In the meantime, my CA 125 marker has gone down. Like I said, the images are better, and I do feel better overall. Like I have a better quality of life, but there's still a lot of work to be done. So we're very optimistic, and just take it one day at a time. And it does feel good to have him in my corner because he's very accessible and he's always answering questions. And you can tell that he's not intimidated by the illness at all. Like I said, he's very passionate about it, and he's not scared to like, try things. So he's very experimental, and that's what I was looking for when I went there.
Yeah, I'm glad you made it over there too.
I am too. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to meet you.
It was honestly a very short-lived visit. So when you book, they tell you that you should plan 5 to 7 business days in case they want to do things. But since it was my first visit, it was only going to be a short consultation. So my family and I were there for barely 3 days. We were
Okay.
there. We got there on a Thursday. We were out on the Sunday. It was a quick in and out. But next time, because there probably will be a next time, I would love to meet you.
Awesome. And what is your last name, Alex?
Leclaire, that's Leclair.
Okay, thank you.
Belinda, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Belinda Steagall. I'm DeWine's mother. I live in Maryland. He lives in Virginia. So it was a shock to me when he called me and told me he had cancer. Been by his side ever since. Scheduling this trip to Houston, Texas, to see Dr. Masoul because from listening to your video, so DeWine sent me one video and I went in and I listened to 4. So 4 different recordings. So I've heard several stories and it definitely makes me feel better about this doctor that seems to know what's going on with RMC.
Where in Maryland are you from, Belinda?
Oh, I'm from Philadelphia, but I live in Maryland, which is Temple Hills, Maryland. It's like right on the cusp of 10 minutes from Virginia, 10 minutes from DC.
Okay.
So I'm in prime real estate location. Yeah, yes. But I spent 19 years in Norfolk. I was a teacher.
Oh, awesome.
Yes, and I email Miss Ritchie back and forth, and I appreciate your rapid responses and your help with getting DeWine in so early to see Dr. Masoul. I greatly appreciate that.
Oh, Richie, you're on mute.
Oh, you're very welcome. That's what we're here for. We want to speed that process up.
Yes, I just want to see him feel better and be better and get rid of this cancer.
He will. He will beat it.
Samantha, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Samantha. This is Ivan.
Hello.
My son Noah our son Noah is he was 14 when he got diagnosed. He turned 15 the week after, in July, this past July. So it has been quite a roller coaster. Similar to, I think it's Alex, he was coughing and it wasn't going, he got sick. And after 3 weeks, it wasn't going away. And it was just like this, he started getting back pain and he started throwing up too. And we couldn't figure out. So they thought it was pneumonia. They did like what do you call it? An x-ray. Yeah. And the x-ray showed like really bad, just really bad lungs. But they thought it was pneumonia. So they started giving him all these antibiotics. Anyways, it wasn't getting better. So after like 2 weeks, he was hospitalized even. They did a like bronchoscopy. Finally, we end up back at the hospital and they did a CAT scan and a room full of doctors sat down and told me that my 14-year-old had just basically he had the tumor in his kidney, and it had spread to the lymph nodes around and also to his lungs. So he has stage 4, and then it's just been, he already started chemo. He's 3 weeks now.
Tomorrow will be his third.
So 3rd round tomorrow. And we've heard a lot of stories. My sister Sabrina has been like researching and advocating and talking. We've gotten is Dr. Marsula the same as Pavlov?
Yes.
So yeah, he's on our team. That was a huge effort from my sister Sabrina on the call and other people we know. But he's on our team, and so he consults our doctors down here in Miami. And you know, we feel hopeful, but it's also scary because he's so young, and it's already spread so much, but we know that there's hope. So yeah, we're in our do you want to say anything?
No, that's good. Yeah, this is it's trying. This is, as everyone here knows, this is a very hard season of our lives. This is a very deep valley that we're walking through. We're grateful for every means of grace that God has been giving us every step of the way. He was dealing with a lot of malnutrition because he wasn't able to eat, and that was very frightful because he, is our young boy who had a very massive appetite, went from 120 to like 80 pounds.
Yeah, he's 5'6",
and he's 5'6", so it was quite a scare. And so but praise report, I just want to spotlight that these past several days he has been able to eat. He's able to hold food down. The nourishment is coming back. This has been 4 days in a row where he's had we've met our caloric intake goal, so yeah, it really has been a step-by-step, day-by-day. We'll be good, and then me mentally, I'll just have a wave hit me of all the what ifs or all the other things. And so yeah, grateful to have the support and the care. And it's unfortunately, it is a pleasure to meet everyone here. I wish we were all just getting together and talking about our favorite mango salsa recipe instead of talking about what we're talking about. But we're grateful that we can link arms and encourage one another with whatever next steps we need to take. So thank you.
Well said. How's he doing? How's his mental state?
We are grateful that we were able to get the guidance from Pavlos and MD Anderson's expertise here in Miami, because we have such a huge community support from our local church, our family. And so we're grateful that they were able to apply the treatment that we would have started in Houston here in Miami. So I think that plays a big role in his mental state. We homeschool, it was very discouraging at first, but he's been seeing himself feeling better physically, and there in return allows him to emotionally, mentally be in a better state. But like everyone else that's been touched by this, there are moments, there's some highs and lows, but overall, I think he's been good mentally, stronger than I am. I'll put it that way. So it's been amazing to see how strong he's been throughout all this.
And resilient.
Thank you. Angela, would you like to introduce yourself?
Good afternoon or evening, everyone. My name is Angela Coker. I am the aunt of Dewan Steagall and the cousin of Belinda Steagall. I am here as support for both Belinda and Dewan. Sorry, I can't get the camera to come on right now, but I am just grateful for this support group. Just talking to Dewan and Belinda, it's good to have support from your family, friends, church, and your community, but it's nothing like a specific support group for people who can identify exactly what you're going through and how you're feeling, And so I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy to be supporting Dewan and his journey, and just grateful for this specific support group, because you guys can tell Dewan exactly what you're going through and how you're feeling, and what your I guess your journey looked like, because everybody's journey is different, but you guys can specifically tell him what his journey is going to look like, how he's going to feel, and I am just truly honored, just to be here for him, and for Belinda, and to talk to you guys today, and hopefully throughout this time, just to get some information, just to just to be a support for him, and Belinda through this journey, and the family, throughout, for each family, if I could be. I live in Philadelphia. Well, I kind of live all over the place now, but I live in Philadelphia. I'm from Philadelphia, and I'm a travel nurse with the VA hospital. So I'm just here to support Dewan.
Thank you, Angela. Yeah, and if you guys, anybody has any question after we do introductions, please, anything, please bring it up here, because this is the place, like a safe place to bring it. If you have. Sabrina, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm the auntie of Noah. Noah's 15, my sister Samantha, and my brother-in-law Ivan just spoke. We're from Miami, Florida. He was diagnosed 3 weeks ago, so this has been quite a journey, and it was already metastasized, and it was just like, it was so much. I just want to give God praise, because he has provided an army of prayer warriors, of resources. Dr. Masal, I don't think he likes me very much, because I didn't expect him to get bombarded from like 50 different people. I was trying to get his contact, and like 50 different people somehow knew somebody who knew somebody, and everybody was reaching out to him. So like, I didn't know that would happen, but we did, and he's on board. I've done a lot of research on this, on cancer, on nutrition, on so much. And I just want to encourage you all. I want to tell you about a doctor on the diet side. Masal was the best in the world for RMC, but for diet, for cancer, it's Dr. William Lee, William W. Lee, L.I. And he has a book called Eat to Beat Disease, and he stresses that diet is just as important as treatment. So there are cancer-fighting foods that you can eat that will help you in this process. It would awaken your immune system to fight the cancer, to starve the blood supply of the cancer. So I just wanted to give you that resource, because that guy is on point. He's doing a bunch of research on different foods that really help in your cancer fighting journey. So I just wanted to give you that. And thank you all for being here. And you guys are all a huge encouragement to all of us, and seeing, people battling this and in this together, and survivors, and it's just amazing to see the unity. And I thank you so much for being bold enough to be here, and for fighting, and keep fighting.
Thank you, Sabrina.
Welcome.
Danielle, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Danielle. My son, Ethan, was diagnosed at 16 last May. So it's been quite a fight. We're going on the 1.5 years now. And it's been a bit of a roller coaster. When he was first diagnosed, it was very similar to how you described Noah's diagnosis. He started with a really terrible cough that wouldn't go away. They thought it was pneumonia. They gave him a bunch of different antibiotics. It wouldn't go away. So he was finally hospitalized, and they did a CT scan, and then that's when they diagnosed him with RMC. So he has done countless rounds of chemo, some targeted radiation. We are working with Dr. Masol. He is working with our local oncologist at Stanford. We live in San Francisco Bay Area. And for the most part, he's had without Dr. Masol, I don't know where we would be without Dr. Masol, because our oncologists have never treated RMC, and so Dr. Masol has really guided them along the way of what to give Ethan, and okay, this is not working, this is the next step of treatment. And so he has been through 3 different forms of treatment. Unfortunately, his latest scans just showed that there's been some growth. So that's telling us that his treatment, his third line of treatment is no longer working. So it's getting into the scarier options now. We met with Dr. Masol and our local oncologist and have decided to head to Texas and get into, now that Ethan is 18, he just turned 18 in August, he's eligible for the clinical trials that Dr. Masol is doing. And so he's heading to Texas next week with my husband. And he's going to do the labs and the tests needed to get into the clinical trial. And so we're feeling a bit defeated right now, but also very grateful to have Dr. Masol, who's the expert, and yeah.
Danielle, well, I'm thankful that he's able to start the clinical trials now. Being in Texas, I feel like meeting Dr. Masol when I met him, I felt very safe. I felt like everybody's saying, he's very very passionate there. So he has things up his sleeves. So I know it's a little bit of a pivot right now, but definitely keep hope.
Yeah. And he's very, so is like the wealth of information, and he's like, oh, we are already working on another clinical trial for 2026, and I have this as another option in case. Like, he's got a lot of things up his sleeve, so he does always comfort us.
He's a smart man. He never sleeps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hi, would you like to introduce yourself? Oh, sorry,
No, that's okay. I'll wait till the end. Go ahead, Charissa. We need to go. That's okay.
Ty, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sorry, me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes, my bad, 1 second.
I thought you said you like being called Ty, right? Am I
What, sorry?
Yeah, I thought one of the calls you said you like being called Ty, but maybe.
Oh, yes, yeah, my bad. I don't know why I'm surprised by that. Sorry. Hello, everyone. My name is Ty for short. I live in Raleigh, North Carolina specifically. I was diagnosed with RMC mid-June. Originally went to the ER, thought it was my appendix because it was a pain on my right side. Quickly figured out that it was not my appendix, it was my kidney, and they found the mass on there. And then immediately got looked into. And then when I went to my doctor, my oncologist, she said that she has a strong feeling that it's specialized cancer called RMC. So she said, we're not going to take a second to dwell on this. I know we're going to get the testing done, but let's hurry up and get into this right away. So when we're rushing through these appointments, I'm like, I'm a little surprised. I don't know too much about RMC. I know a bit about cancer, but not enough to say that I'm an expert or anything. So when she told me about it, I was like, okay, I understand the seriousness of the situation. So then we went through with the process. On my second, I was on my second cycle of chemo already, carboplatin and Taxol. So promising results have happened though so far. When I went to my last PET scan, let's say August 21st, the doctor said after my second PET scan that the cancer is no longer visible, at least right now. They said that the tumor is completely shrunken to the point where it's no longer conspicuous and its lymph nodes have went to normal size again. So they said the cancer activity is not visible at all. So they're going to talk with MD Anderson to see what's the next plan. But they're still hitting me, with chemo just to make sure because you never know. The sneaky disease. But as far as that goes, just hit my third cycle of chemo and feeling pretty good. I got my energy back. Vitality just feels pretty good. Able to do like all the things I usually used to do. Um, my doctors were really surprised. It wasn't part of the plan. I mean, not saying it wasn't part of the plan to get me better, but it wasn't part of the plan for it to have done such a fast turnaround in just a few weeks. So hopefully, hopefully, like I said, come the next two cycles of chemo, that we're gonna really redo a PET scan in September, and then they said we're gonna see moving forward to taking out the kidney, and then redoing chemo, and hopefully, yeah. So that's pretty good.
Awesome news. Rhonda, would you like to introduce yourself? Rhonda, if you're speaking, we can't hear you. Rhonda, can you hear us? Are you there? Or maybe message in chat if you're there. Okay, we're going to come back to Rhonda. Zoe, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, all right. So yeah, I'm Zoe. I live here in North Carolina, Forest City to be exact. I'm 31 years old, and I was recently diagnosed with RMC, like mid-July. Um, so, um, yeah, so mine was basically kind of random. Um, I only kind of went to the doctor just because I was having like really bad stomach pains, and I was just basically kind of just thinking I just had an upset stomach. So for a couple of days, I was just taking Pepto Bismol, just thinking it might get better. But they were just constant, and after like 4 or 5 days, I had like blood in my urine. So that was when I just finally went to the emergency room, and that's when they kind of told me I had a mass on my right kidney, and and yeah, that's kind of when all of my stuff started. But recently, I also met with Dr. Masal. I just left Houston this weekend. Everything went really well. He gave me a lot of information. They did a PET scan on me, and he told me that my tumor had shrunk. And yeah, so I just started my I've only done one round of chemo. I start my second one on Thursday. But yeah, he just gave me a lot of good news, just telling me that yeah, the tumor shrunk, and basically the results that they were looking for that day, it was like the best result that we could have hoped for. And just he did tell me that even though my results were good, that it still would be like I still will have ups and downs, and it's a long journey and stuff like that, and that he said that it was a possibility that the chemo that I'm on right now, my body might reject it. He said it's not, it might not, but it is a possibility. But he just told me, just he just said that if it does, then he has like 3 or 4 other options for me. So it's like don't lose hope with everything, and it just made me feel very comfortable with everything, and yeah. So right now, yeah, so it was pretty good, and I go back to meet him again in about 6 weeks. So yeah, that's about it.
Are you getting treated in North Carolina and then coming back for your scans? Is that how you do it?
Yeah. So at first, my doctors here, they weren't really familiar with RMC, so the first round of chemo, they kind of they was trying to give me like a 4 dose cocktail all at once, and yeah, I got Dr. Masal to kind of oversee everything. And since he's been overseeing everything, they kind of told me that everything's been going pretty good for me and stuff like that.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, I do all my treatment here in North Carolina, but Dr. Masal is over everything. He basically oversees everything, but here from North Carolina. And he told me that he told me he likes to see his patients in person. He doesn't really like to deal with people over the phone. So that's kind of why I go see him in person too.
Hope to see you next time. So I'm sorry.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sorry. That was kind of like my first time in Houston. And my brother was visiting, so I kind of got held up. I'm sorry about that.
Okay, it's okay. Do what's important first. I'm an old lady. I'll be around.
Yeah, I'll definitely make sure I see you next time.
Okay, sounds good.
Sam, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, everybody. It's been a minute. So I'm Pam, and I was diagnosed with RMC. Gosh, I have to do the math now. It was February of 2023. And mine was found during a weird allergic reaction to something, a medication for my rheumatoid arthritis. So they found it on scan, but I had to be on high dose steroids for a while. So I guess so. When I was diagnosed, they it was they took part of my right kidney, because it was small, and I live in Montana, and there was no RMC wasn't on the radar. So uh, it was already involving the lymph node, and then I met with Dr. Rosal about 3 weeks after that, and then started chemo a month after my surgery with the carbotaxol combo, and it worked initially, and then my tumor marker kind of bumped up a bit, and it had spread to my lymph nodes. So I got radiation with the chemo, and uh, did very well with that. But I had a chain of lymph nodes that were just sitting in my chest. So I ended up doing another round of chemo, a different combination. So I had a break of 6 months, which was really nice. And then radiation and chemo the year after. And so I've been off of treatment though for 14 months, and no evidence of disease at my last scan. There was a little scare, but and then I go back next month for my 3 month surveillance with Dr. Marsal and PET scans. So that's my story.
Thank you, Pam. Good to hear news. Good news. Brandon, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, hello. Good evening, everyone. My name is Brandon. I'm currently living out around Houston. Um, I was diagnosed with RMC actually around this time last year.
Where's
Uh,
your camera, Brandon? Where's your camera?
oh, I turned it on.
Oh, come on, please do. Thank you.
Thank you. Um, I was diagnosed. I started having symptoms around May. Well, actually, speaking what Alex was talking about, a bad cough. I've actually had a cough for probably 2 months before a lot of stuff happened with the blood and urine. So hearing that from Alex with the cough is something that made me remember that I had a bad cough, and my wife was telling me you need to go get that checked out, and I was like, it's just a cough. It's just a cough. But I left for deployment in May. Got real sick on the cough got real bad while I was on deployment, and they wanted to check and see first what that issue was. But I did start having blood in the urine around that time. Ultimately, I got hospitalized, and during the hospitalization, with flank pain and real deep blood in urine, I got they found a tumor on my kidney. They said it was a tumor, didn't know what it was. I was like, okay, it's 2024. It's really nothing to complain about. We can handle this. Then my doctors put me to the side and told me about RMC. And he told me about a doctor, Dr. Masal, that he was going to try to get me there because at that time I came back from overseas and I was living in El Paso, Texas. And my doctor, he didn't feel comfortable with it, so he advocated for me to move to move here to Houston. Because at one point I was like, no, I didn't want to move. We were going to stay here and we could just travel back and forth and see Dr. Masal. Ultimately, we moved here. I've been through. I'm on my second set of chemo treatment. The first one stopped a few months in. So I don't know how many rounds. I stopped counting with the rounds very recently. 11. So I'm a few rounds in, but this past week I know I was talking to George about it, and he was right about what Andre said about radiation. It wasn't the easiest one. Chemo was a lot better for me. Radiation, like he said, it was quick, but it was horrible when I got out of there. It was to a point. I think I felt like I was about to pass out, like nausea real bad, fatigue. I can't eat anything. Like right now, I look at food and it just makes me sick. So radiation was probably the worst thing out of all because chemo I was still eating. I'm not gonna lie. But we just finished radiation, and I'm actually about to get back on start chemo on the 19th.
Okay. Thank you, Brandon.
Thank
Milton, would you like to introduce yourself?
Did I hear my name?
Yeah,
Yes.
we can hear you now, Milton.
Oh, okay. My name is Milton Wade, and I'm currently a volunteer advocate for the CJ Foundation, Chris Johnson Foundation. I lost my son in 2021 to RMC. But my reason of coming on, I'm not going to stay on too long because I'm trying to cook and I don't want to burn my house down right now. So I received an email. I just don't know if it was just me or maybe Richie received it or anything. It's about a paid research study for caregivers. And what I'll do is I'll share. I'm going to look through it, but it came across this morning to me, and it's about research specifically for kidney cancer, and well, they have a renal cell carcinoma, but I'm gonna break down all the medullary is part of it. But it's an anonymous research, and um, they will pay if everyone is qualified, and everyone here does, in my opinion. It's open to caregivers and patients, but they give just a I'm looking at it briefly, and it's they're paying out $145 just to for your time. But the whole objective of the research is to, and I'll read it. It says, um, the objective of the study is for researchers to better understand experiences with diagnosis, life journeys, and treatments. Your feedback will contribute to advancing medical knowledge for these cancers, ultimately helping to improve services and treatment for patients in the future. And I'm going to do it, and mainly because that's part of my advocacy, where you have the miseducation or the fact that you have a lot of physicians and oncologists who are unaware about what RMC is. And part of the reason why is my advocacy is that my son's an oncologist. He had like the God complex where he knew what everything needed to be done, and he was totally unaware of it. So anyhow, if no one is aware of the study, then I'll forward the information to Richie, and she could pass it on. I believe that it would be great if everyone here, once the link is there, and I mean it's your option, but the point of it all is that one, they'll send you a small check, $145, but more importantly, it will help others in the future. And just like how the CJ Foundation was founded to help those afflicted with RMC, I believe that it's a worthy endeavor. But I'll leave it at that. And also, Dewan, I am a Norfolk State alumni, and I was planning to finally go down to a football game this year. And I was going to the homecoming, but then I said, man, I have to pay the ticket and hotels and all that. But I could come to another home game without avoiding the homecoming crowd. I haven't been to a homecoming game since I graduated when your mom was a teenager, probably. So I ain't going to talk about my age or anything like that. However, now I'm motivated to spend the money, rent a car, and come down to a game, and hopefully you and I could, I can meet you and just chat, and rather than just being, we're doing this by a Zoom call, whatever. But I would like to meet you in the flesh, and I don't know if I can answer any questions or anything like that, but hey, maybe a good tennis football game and just chill out. That's about it. So I can tell you I'm willing to do, but at least it'll give me a reason to rent a car and leave where I am and come down to Norfolk if you're up to it. But we could talk offline, or Rishi could pass you my info, and I generally would like to meet you, so I could, whatever it is I'm doing or planning, I can circumvent those plans and make it a point to come and see you.
Appreciate that, and for sure, I'm like maybe 10 minutes down the street from Norfolk State, and yeah, with my mom putting dates because we big football fans over here, and as a Norfolk State alumni, I went to ODU, so y'all like my cousins that I go over there
Yeah.
and go back home to my house. So for sure, and I would love to go catch a game and down there and see you guys do something, man.
All right. Well, we can plan it out, but right now I don't want to burn my dinner, so I just want to, as Richie and everyone knows, I'm able. I don't show up here very often anymore, but I just something told me, hey, let me just check in today when I saw this email and said, let me share the information. So I did my part, and I have to say goodbye to everyone, but I just want to encourage everyone to keep just keep the faith and just keep believing and staying positive. And
can you give Dewan your information so if he need to contact you?
absolutely. I could tell. Well,
Open the chat.
off the chat. Well, I can share. I'm not that private. I can share my information, but I mean, but just to make sure he gets it off the chat, Richie will do it. So I don't take up anyone else's time, whatever. But more than well. If not, if you don't reach me, I'll make it a point to reach you. So we could do that, especially since you you work for a legislator, and that's something that's my advocacy part. So even Richie and I are going to an AUA meeting November 21st. And last year, of course, I had a show out in my Richie will tell me, I kind of showed out myself and got a little boisterous there. But the stories that you and everyone else are sharing, that's important because when you know, sometimes when I'm there and hearing these surgeons, when they mention when I wear the CJ Foundation shirt, and they ask me, what's that? Oh, I heard of that, and I really want to punch them in the forehead because they say some ignorant stuff, and they are surgeons and oncologists at different hospitals, and the ignorance is if I go into it, it's unbelievable. But anyhow, I gotta go. I can smell my food burning. So anyhow, I'll say goodbye to everyone. And it was a brief session, but I enjoyed meeting everyone, and I wish everyone the best. And I'll check in maybe next time. But anyway, for now, I'd like to say goodbye.
Milton, thank you for that info. The caregiver info, you're putting it in the chat.
I will. Well, I'm not that technological. Well, what I'm going to do is an email. And so I'm looking at my phone, so I'm going to share it forward because they actually asked me, whoever sent they sent me the email and the researchers, and so they said for me to call for further details. So I want to do that first. I just got it this morning, but I will forward the information to Richie, and she could forward it out to the group or find a way. We'll find logistically how to do it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I received the email, Milton, as well. There was a link. I just put it in the chat. I'm not sure if it works for everybody, but if you click on that, that's the email.
Okay,
I will put it.
All right. Well, no, that's great because I was checking in to make sure I wasn't the only one. I didn't think I was that special, but I just want to make sure.
And this is the email address as well.
Okay. Well, it's important for everyone. I mean, it's that's what two or three Starbucks coffees worth of money, but you know, however it works out, you know. So anyway, as I said, I don't want to have to eat peanut butter and jelly sandwich for dinner. So I'm going to check on my meal. Okay.
Nothing.
All right. Bye bye.
Bridget, we're going around just introducing ourselves. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi guys. Yeah, my name is Bridget Cicada, and I was diagnosed with RMC the beginning of this year. He was misdiagnosed last year in October, and then he got diagnosed with RMC in January. We were in a remission in June, and then we had a PET scan in August, and it was back. So now he's undergoing chemotherapy again.
What regimen do they have him on, Bridget?
They have him on gemcitabine, doxorubin, and paclitaxel. Still trying to learn them.
No, you got it. You said it pretty good. Yeah.
Oh, yay. Yeah, so he had his first round 2, cycle 1 last Friday.
Okay. How's he going with the docs? I know the doxorubicin can be a little tough. How's he doing on these chemos?
You know, he is not as nauseous, but he felt like his body was on fire and very overheated and a lingering headache, and he's not getting much sleep at night. So I'm thinking it's Ross. He had a low temperature on Saturday, so they have a nurse coming to the house to give him hydration because he got a port this time.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So we have a nurse coming 3 times a week to give him hydration, and he had a very low grade fever on Saturday.
Okay.
So yeah.
Thank you, guys. And I see Rhonda. I see that you said not able to speak. She's caregiver to her 35-year-old son, same age as me, Justin, who was diagnosed in April. Here you've been on the roller coaster with treatments. Was on a weekly treatment regimen. Rhonda, where is he getting treated at?
He's at MD Anderson.
At MD Anderson, okay.
There, Justin is.
Mm-hmm. Trying to get his weight back.
I know they just got here.
And then she just has a question. If anyone has feedback or experience with issues of losing a lot of weight early on and what they did to gain their weight back.
Yeah, that's kind of how I found out I was sick at first because I lost a lot of weight. I lost like 40 pounds at the beginning, and was just tired all the time. I don't know his situation, but I guess with the cancer diagnosis, it made me lose so much weight at one point, and then I had to hop right into surgery like immediately. So it took a couple weeks, maybe even a month or two after the surgery, just for my body to recover from all of it happening at one time. And then my weight started coming back, finally coming back up. But yeah, I probably dropped from like 180 down to like I'm gonna say about 130 or 120 something. But finally, after maybe a month or two of recovery from surgery, and I don't know if he had surgery yet, and the chemo and getting the kidney out, that my weight finally controlled itself a little bit. So hopefully that works out for him the same. I don't know how early in the process he is, but I went through something similar.
It looks like he was diagnosed in like April. Has he had? Oh, sorry, my screen blinked for a little bit. Has he had surgery, Rhonda? No. Okay. Let's see. Okay. We'll wait for Rhonda to respond back. But in the meantime, Brian, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, everybody. My name is Brian. I got diagnosed with RMC back in like summer of 2021. First noticed I started seeing blood in my urine. Upon going to the doctor, they gave me antibiotics, and it kind of cleared up for a little bit, and then it came back. And then after that, my doctor told me I should probably go get scanned. And upon getting scanned, they found a mass on my left kidney. I went ahead and got my kidney removed, and they actually misdiagnosed me also with a clear cell carcinoma. About a month later, we went to MD Anderson for treatment, and they did their own biopsy there, and they found out that it was RMC. After that, they started me on a regimen of paclitaxel and not paclitaxel. It was actually paclitaxel and carboplatin, and I was on that for a few months, and then the cancer started resisting it. So they put me on another regimen of doxorubicin and gemcitabine, and also a trial drug. I also did radiation as well. And as of about October 2023, I've been cancer free, and now I'm getting scans every 6 months, and I have scans again actually next month. So,
Thanks.
yeah.
And Brian's also one of our moderators as well.
Yeah,
Forgot to mention that, Brian.
that's okay.
Andre, do you want to introduce yourself?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Andre Sneed. Um, I was diagnosed with RMC back in 2019, April 2019. At the time, I was stationed in Washington, D.C., and I got my kidney removed at Walter Reed Hospital in Maryland. Um, and they wanted to send me to a cancer institute in Maryland, but two social workers came down to my room and they told me about, MD Anderson and Dr. Masal, and I decided to go travel down to Houston, and I was treated by Dr. Masal at MD Anderson. Um, Went through several different chemo regimens. I started off with doxorubicin and gemcitabine. I did that for a while. The cancer became resistant. Then they switched me over to cisplatin. Um, the cancer became resistant. Then they tried immunotherapy. That worked for a little while. Same thing. And then my final chemo regimen, I did carboplatin and paclitaxel in conjunction with radiation. So I did 28 cycles of radiation. For me, that was the easier than chemo to me. But I know George and Brandon, they had different opinions, but for me, that was the easiest part. So yeah, and so after doing the carboplatin and the radiation, October 2020 is when I got my first clear scan. So no evidence of disease, and I've been clear ever since. So actually, this October, I'm actually celebrating 5 years in remission. So this is I'm also one of the moderators for the group as well. I met Miss Ritchie and Carissa and her husband Carlos when I traveled down to Houston, and I stayed at Dan's House of Hope. That's where I met them at, and I told Miss Ritchie, I was like, "Hey, we need a support group so we can share our stories and our shared experiences." And so that's what we do. This is like a tight knit family or whatever. Um, so yeah, I just want to tell everybody, stay encouraged. This is something that definitely can be, what I'm saying, Beaton, I'm doing well. Brian is doing well. Pam that was on here is doing well, and so many others that's not on the call has beat this disease. Just try to stay positive, even when my oncologist told me that the cancer became resistant. I still tried to stay positive throughout the whole process. And Dr. Masal is great. He always has a different treatment or a different plan, if that cancer become resistant. So just stay encouraged the best you can throughout the process. Continue to lean on your faith. That's what kind of got me through. So now I do scans once a year. So I kind of graduated. I started at every 3 months for a little while, then it went to 4, then 6. So now um, I have a scan once a year, and my next scan is in March. And looking forward to another clear scan. So I just want to just tell everybody, make sure you stay encouraged. I know it's a difficult process and difficult journey, um, but this support group is here to help. We're here to answer any questions that you may have. Um, no judgment zone here. So that's all I got, Carissa.
Thank you, Andre. Amazing 5 years. Are you doing anything special for the 5-year anniversary?
We are having a little get together here at my house in Atlanta. So we're gonna celebrate friends and family.
Nice. Nice. Richie, would you like to introduce yourself?
Evening, everyone. I think I know everybody on here. Whether I've seen you or not, I know I've talked to you on the phone, but I'm so happy to see everybody on the call. It just let me know that you're really interested in what's going on with either yourself or your loved one, and just want to keep you encouraged and not to lose faith nor hope. It is a little rocky journey, but when you're down in that valley, just look for something positive, because you have to come up one side or the other. We just don't want you to stay in the valley. Every one of us on this call are here to support you. Some of you, I don't have your telephone number, so I need you to get that to me if you don't mind. And I think Ty, I don't have any contact information for you. I do have George, but Samantha, that's your sister Sabrina, so I know I can get in contact with Samantha through you. And Alex, I don't have any information on Alex. So if you could either put it in the chat, or my number is 832-721-8998. You can feel free to text me. But I'm just happy to see everyone. And if there's anything that I can do, I'm here for you. It seemed like it was something else, but my brain is in a fog right now, so I'm still trying to rise above everything. As you probably know, I recently lost my mom, so I'm still trying to get it together. But please feel free to reach out. That doesn't stop me from working for you. And if you come to
Thank you, Rich.
Houston, by all means, please, please give me a call. Most of the time, I can try to reach you, meet you. That's what I love to do. I like to put my arms around you, and just really, it's better to meet a person in person. So, and then maybe I can hook us up with maybe Mr. Brian. He stays on the move all the time. He's here in Houston, and Brandon. So we can maybe have a little family gathering. And we didn't get invited to Andre's party, but it's okay. We'll have our own. Thank you, Andre.
Invites coming out soon here.
That's okay, Andre.
I also added my email and phone number in the chat as well. If anybody want to talk offline about any treatments or any other questions that you may have outside of the group setting, contact me anytime.
How did Rick tell us we could do this chat? We can make a copy of this chat, but I forgot what he said. Does anybody remember?
Oh, I see you can download chat messages.
Where is that?
Could I share my screen?
Oh, it's right here. It should be that. I have it. Okay, I got it.
It's 3 little dots.
Yep, I got
Yes,
it.
the 3 little dots.
Okay, all of you technical people, you go ahead on.
Well,
I got it.
I still can't get my speaker to work. So I'm not gonna take any points for being technical with the IT.
But it's okay. You do a good job. Oh, and the walk is coming up in March, you guys. So go on and save your dollars so you could come to Houston for the walk in March. We'll be setting a date. It's probably going to be the 3rd week in January.
March?
Third Saturday. I'm sorry. See, I told you, brain fog. And third Saturday in March, doing Kidney Cancer Awareness Month. So we hope to see you guys. Or you can have your own walk wherever you live. Spread the awareness. This is one of the largest calls I think we've had.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is from what I remember. And if you guys if you're gonna walk in your area to Richie, like we'll send you shirts so you guys could have the shirts as well. I'm wearing I don't remember what year, but I'm wearing one of the shirts from the walk. 2020. Which year you said, Richie? 2020.
Yeah, this will be the 13th year coming up next year. 13th year.
Does anybody have any questions?
Are there any resources that you think we should have, or anything that has helped your journey in any way, whether it's food or supplements, suggestions, mental health, anything, any resources you suggest?
I know we had some video calls with nutritionists. We've had on the calls we've had recordings of radiologists as well. So we have that, those for the calls, and I know some of them had some resources included in there.
Then also on our website we have resources.
Okay.
I have a question. I probably got a lot of questions, but I have a question. This is Belinda Steagall, Dewan's mom. So I wanted to know about, and I don't know if you want to talk online or maybe I'll contact somebody separately, but I listened to about 4 of the videos. So I hear beginnings and ends, but I don't really hear about the middle, because as a mother, it is so painful to see your child in pain or not eating or not going to the bathroom. And I don't hear about any of that. So I was wondering if anybody wanted to maybe share some more of the road before recovery.
I can jump in and speak to.
I can too.
I can speak, to my journey, which from when I first got diagnosed in April 2019 to October 2020, it's about 18 months or so. So getting the kidney removed to me was the most difficult part, just trying to recover and getting my body back strong enough to actually, handle and do the chemo. And I hear, people talk about, different foods and different diets, but my journey, I ate my mom's cooking. I ate what tastes good to me. And, that pretty much worked for me, because the chemo can affect like your appetite, your taste buds and stuff like that. So I just kind of ate what I liked and what I was familiar with, because your body has to be strong in order to handle that chemo, because it's going to affect like your red blood cell count, your white blood cell count, and different things like that. I also had to have 2 different blood transfusions along the way as well, because my blood cell count, my red blood cell count had got low. So that's another thing you gotta like counteract throughout your journey. You gotta, because the chemo is gonna be fighting the cancer, but it's also gonna be, fighting your own red blood cells. So just kind of keeping an eye on that as well. And
what about before the chemo? So he hasn't even taken chemo yet or anything. All we go to Texas on the 19th. So he had his kidney removed and that's it.
And quick question: how long from your surgery between your chemo? How long was that?
I think I had beginning of May 2019 is when I had my surgery, and I was at MD Anderson in June, like that next month, receiving chemo.
Okay.
So it was more because RMC is aggressive in nature or whatever, and I just want to touch on one thing. And Dr. Masal is good about this. He's good about being proactive instead of reactive. Like when one chemo wasn't working, he went straight to the next thing because um, in my case, RMC had spread to my lymph nodes, and to my lungs. So um, like when they found the mass on my kidney, a couple weeks later, I had my kidney removed. A month after that, I had already started chemo. So it was everything kind of went so fast. It was like a blur to me. Um, and I had to move. I had to, you know, just a lot. It was just a lot of different like moving parts or whatever. But yeah, so it was about a month in between. To answer your question.
Andre,
Okay.
when oh,
Go ahead.
when you did your chemo the first time, because Noah's third chemo tomorrow, how long did it take for Dr. Masal to test you to see like what was in your body, like how,
So
like the scan, CAT scan to see what was in to see if it worked.
so Dr. Masai, he like to do scans, CT scans, after every 3 treatments. So once you get your third cycle, then they do a scan because they want to have enough time for the chemo to actually work in your body to kind of see, okay, is it working, or is it becoming resistant to it, or whatever. So it's normally every 3 cycles, which is, I know I had chemo every 3 weeks, so like a 9 to 12 week frame is when I did a CT scan.
Thank you.
If anybody has experienced like the severe pain, don't be afraid to ask your doctor about that, because that might be an indication something's not working. I know for my late husband Carlos, he was on some treatments and like he had pretty bad pain, so they had to change the regimen up. So that's something I would like suggest. And then just when you're in the process, like, don't be afraid to ask questions. I like to have my list of questions written down and bring it to the doctor. Also might experience might have experienced pain. I know like with my late husband, getting acupuncture was helpful, like for relieving pain, and medical massages. And like at MD Anderson, they actually have services there, so he was able to get the services there. So a lot of hospitals do have like the acupuncture, and they might have like the medical massages as well.
Yep, I did exactly what you said. I got a lot of questions, but since he had his kidney removed on the 12th and he doesn't see Dr. Masoul until the 19th, do you think that he should talk to Dr. Masoul about getting some chemo or something before the 19th? Like as soon as possible there in Virginia?
No, because he's gonna have to, I'm sorry, this is Natia, this is Brandon's wife. But he's got to give his body time to recover from that surgery before chemo again. So they kind of plan it out to where he has like a nice break. And with us, it was different because we did chemo and then we kept doing that until we were able to have it small enough to do surgery. So then we had surgery, he had to take a break from chemo, had surgery, and then had a break from surgery, and now we're rolling into this. He had a few more rounds of chemo and then radiation. So
Yeah, I think everyone is different. Because with my situation, Dr. Tanier and Masal, since they already had took my kidney out, I actually started chemo in like 2.5 weeks after my chemo. I mean, after my surgery. So they suggest I mean, technically, I think the route they like to do is not take your um kidney out and just see how it reacts. But these doctors they don't know much about RMC, so they'll hurry up and take your kidney out, thinking that's the solution.
Mhm.
So that's what happened with me. But they started me on chemo like 2 weeks, literally 2.5 weeks after I had surgery.
Yeah, like George said, everybody's situation is different. I guess it depends on how fast your body heals and stuff like that. But the best,
And so he should probably get in touch with Dr. Masood to find out should he just go ahead and start it here. Probably.
Yeah, or
And
see if you could get the
yes,
appointment like earlier as well. Because I think like for when Carlos got, because he had treatments. We're from New Jersey, so he was getting treated in New York. He was on a clinical trial in New York, and that wasn't working. So his doctor in New York told us like about a clinical trial at the MD Anderson, and I think from what I remember, it's a little foggy. I think I asked to get the appointment pushed earlier. I think it was at 1, and then I asked to get it pushed earlier. So from what I remember, so I think it's just good to reach out, and see if there's a reason why it's the 19th. Should push it. So I think it's better to ask the question than not.
When are you coming?
Thank you.
When is
Thank you.
the one? When are you coming? Is it so?
I'm coming September 19th. And that's this is kind of I wanted to hear what Brian had to say as well, but this is kind of stem from some of my questions that I have. The distance. So some simple as my mom, I wasn't able to tell her. The doctor texted me and said, "Hey, I was able to talk to Dr. Masul, and he has given you a regimen plan, and talked about what it is. And I don't know as of yet, what it is exactly. And I have right now I have a standalone planned immunotherapy treatment for Friday, but I am unsure with the conversation that my oncologist and Dr. Masul had with like, hey, we have this. Do we change what that looks like on Friday, or do we move it on Friday? Like, I'm unsure, and that's something I definitely will call because I know it's a lot of moving parts. So I wanted to hear what Brian had to say, but I also had a question about the severity of being far away from Houston and not being a drive away. And having you essentially take phone calls and emails and recommendations over the phone versus being in Houston. And right now it's just me and Jazz and our puppy. My boss is very good and he's very okay with me making that leap. Got to definitely tie up some loose ends here, but it's not. It wouldn't be just I'm leaving the whole world in Norfolk if I go down to Houston. But it's also, it's hard to leave your home. I just purchased this home last year, so it's definitely some hurdles that I will have to do to go down there. But it sometimes does seem like distance can create miscommunication, and with this being such an aggressive cancer, it can create some divide, but also now with 2025 to where it's like, okay, we're on our fourth, fifth, working on our sixth clinical trial. I want to know how you all felt about that too.
Can I say
So
something?
I can
Okay.
sorry, Ricky, you go ahead first.
No, I was just gonna say, if your doctor is communicating with Dr. Masal, there are certain treatments that can be administered where you are. Now, if it get to the point where you need a clinical trial, that will be different. You will need to come to Houston. I know a lot of times people feel more secure coming to Houston for everything, and that is certainly your decision. But to let you know, we have a young kid that was, Nico was what, 12, and I think he's 17 now. He lived in Colombia, and
Mhm.
all of his treatment was from afar. But,
Okay.
it all depends on how well your doctors listen to
Mhm.
what he's recommending. That's the key,
Yeah,
but
I wanted to talk about that too. So, like my husband, he was very homebody. He did not like he didn't want to move to he didn't want to move to Texas. Um, Started in New York, wasn't like but my doctor, like the first thing she said, like she talked about Dr. Tanir, and she said she was going to consult on what was the right regimen. Like when he started, he was in remission at one point. The cancer did come back. He had some trials in New York, which was he was getting treated at New York Presbyterian, and he was at Weill Cornell version. Then he was in Columbia, and I think his doctor in Columbia was going to put him on another treatment. But I talked to the first doctor, and she was like, no, like you should go on this trial in Texas, because we had to go to Texas. That was the only way he was going to get on that trial. He was on that trial. When that was not working, there was a point. Well, I will step back. So we had that trial. He did not want to move to Texas, so we flew back and forth like every other week to Texas. That was something that he wanted to do. I was able to find resources to actually pay for most of the flights. I found Dan's House of Hope, where I actually met Andre there. So we stayed at a house for young adult cancer patients. So if you ever have any questions on resources on where to find, able to do that. But that was something we were flying back and forth every other week. When there was a treatment where he was able to just get them done at New York, we talked to Dr. Marsal and talked to his first original doctor, Dr. Merlina, and they worked together, making sure on the treatments. And we decided to do scans at MD Anderson. So instead of going every other week, I believe I'm a little hazy on the details, but I don't know, like every maybe 3 months or something. I'm trying. It's a little hazy. Been like
it was
over
about every
five,
3 months.
5-6 months, 5-6 years. But we were personally comfortable and made that his doctor was talking. They were talking to each other. So I feel like as long as you see that and you see that they're continue, that's something you're able to get the treatment at home. I think that's a possibility. Also, traveling back and forth might be some option, and definitely could talk to you about the resources there.
And I had something to add to that. I second what Miss Ritchie and Carissa said. If your doctors are communicating well, that's good. But there is a sense of comfort being at MD Anderson and talking to Dr. Masao face to face. Have my mom there and I'm there, and being able to have a direct conversation with him. And he's very knowledgeable, and man, his spirit definitely, uh his passion for RMC research is strong. So I just felt like being there, being in his presence helped me, you know what I'm saying, uh, strengthen my resolve to fight RMC. So I definitely get it, wanting to be, home and, in your comfort zone. But man, just being in his presence really, really gave me the resolve I needed to, keep pushing forward. Because, sometimes, the cancer may become resistant, and doctors can communicate, but when I was able to talk directly to Dr. Masao right there, he was able to, reassure me that, hey, we got this plan and we're gonna get on it right away. So that's just, my input on it. But ultimately, of course, it's the decision that's best for you, will
And sorry, I'll add too, because we started from afar. We were traveling back and forth from El Paso, and now we've relocated. But we waited until Dr. Masao pretty much said like we're coming close to kidney surgery. This would be the time to relocate. But not necessarily. We still didn't have to relocate. Then it just made us feel more comfortable. And that face to face with him is way more reassuring. Sorry, my camera's off. Than your doctor communicating and everything. But again, yeah, if you don't have to come, you don't have to. But if it makes you feel better to come and you can, then go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, like, I felt like when I met Dr. Masala, I definitely, like, I cried because I felt like just being in his presence and how passionate and how, like, smart he is. Yeah, definitely. So I definitely see, see that, like, point. Definitely, I think it's, definitely worth, like, going. Just, yeah, I feel like you got to see what the right option is, but very important that they're in communication. Like my doctor or my husband's doctor, she was colleagues with Dr. Tanier, and she said they were friends. So that's something I had like an extra trust in that. So I feel like you have to feel comfortable. Like you have to feel comfortable with the doctor, comfortable with your life and what you're like, what's going to help your state of mind as well.
Charissa,
Alex, I see you have. What were you going to say, Andre?
No, I was just gonna say that Alex had his hand raised, but you on it.
Yeah, I just wanted to build on what you guys are saying because it really resonates with me. When this whole journey started, much like everyone here, my oncologist had never heard of this disease. We were lucky enough that when they ran the pathology, they actually had a sample in their laboratory. That's how we got the diagnosis, but no one really knew what it was, what it entailed. And so my oncologist contacted various doctors until he got in touch with Dr. Masoul. My family and I, much like most of you here, based on what I'm hearing, are very proactive and very determined to not just stretch time, but to eradicate and to defeat the illness. And so we knew that sooner or later, regardless of what was happening with my situation, it was undeniable that we would end up meeting him. And when you meet him, it's really true what you're saying. You feel like you have all these options that your oncologist can't really give you because, first of all, he's much more experimental. And second of all, he lives and breathes studying this illness. So you start to feel like, okay, if this doesn't work, I can do this other thing. If that doesn't work, I can do this. And so now that I'm back home, because it was about 10 days ago, I'm going to see my oncologist tomorrow. But I know that even if he's very limited in his knowledge and he's banking on what Masoul tells him, I remember what my encounter was like with Masoul and all the hope he gave me. And I plan on having that carry me into my next treatment instead of just hoping that my oncologist understands what Masoul means when he's using technical terms about an illness that he's never heard of. So I completely agree with what you're all saying. And it's definitely been a turning point in my journey to meet him. And just at the end of the day, he's very relaxed. He's very sweet. He smiles a lot. You just feel safer on him and he makes you feel very seen, which is a part of the journey too. There's a huge emotional, mental, even spiritual component where you want to feel like what you're going through is valid. And he provides that comfort. He really sees you as a human that's going through a very difficult, rough patch. And hopefully it's just like someone was saying earlier, a bad season and not a death sentence.
Oh, and I did want to, so also too, when you are getting treatments too, they should give you like a printout of what the treatment is and the side effects. So that's something like make sure you have when like they're going over that as well. They should give that to you.
I had a quick question for Dewan, Charissa. Have you talked to anyone about getting a port done, getting a port installed, or?
Yes, and that's exactly what my doctor said, and what y'all are saying is kind of making me feel reassured. So he literally texted me today. Dr. Masul got back to me. Impressive doctor. Will share his recommendations with you. Telling my team to get you in this week. We need to get a Metaport goal to start next week. So Metaport is definitely the next. That's the next week.
Yes, 'cause
Well,
that chemo is rough on the vein. So
I mean, I had a contrast today on my stomach, and like, and and I got some chemo questions as well to ask you all. But like, I've been doing my research on chemo to know it doesn't just, as soon as it goes into you, it doesn't just hurt you and you just start getting nauseous. But because I did not eat and they had me in the waiting room for so long, and they put the contrast in and it immediately started burning me. And of course, the contrast is red. And then when the contrast finally got to my stomach, I became nauseous. So it was like it that scared me. Like it kind of was like, I know this is not exactly how chemo is, but the thought of just like not eating and having a contrast in my stomach and me becoming nauseous, and I didn't throw up, but just that feeling in that moment, it made it really hard for a CT scan that's supposed to be just, you just get your pictures and go, to be like, that was actually that was hard for a CT scan. It has never been like that. So the Metaport is something that I'm really big on, because I um I have been getting a lot of like, oops, I'm sorry, with these IVs, and then them having to go to another vein. And like, having to do all this,
Yeah.
and like, all right, I'm finally sitting in here and you cannot put an IV in my vein, is like, okay, I'm just gonna give it to God like I always do, and just take a breath and do it. But definitely a Metaport. But yeah, it's yeah. I'll let somebody else ask some questions though, because I have a million questions.
and
Be sure you
But
get
I
your
do want,
numbing cream for the port.
Ma'am?
Be sure to get the numbing cream for your port.
Numbing cream for port. Okay.
and
I will say too, uh, I was just going to say, Dewan, I would see if you could speak to palliative care as well. So like palliative care helps like with, is like a separate doctor that helps with symptoms of like any pain or nausea, like side effects. So that's something good to talk to that doctor, because they're focusing on that. So that I would ask to get an appointment with that, like with a doctor from that group, that department.
Thank you.
Rick, I see your hand is has a hand up.
I do have a hand up. Hello, everybody. I was over in the MS meeting where they got way too close to politics. So it was a good thing I was there, because I had to put a stop to that. A couple of things. First question is for Duan. Hello, Duan. I'm so sorry to see you in this group, but I'm very happy you found it, because
Yes.
they are fantastic. Where are you located?
Norfolk, Virginia.
Norfolk, Virginia. Well, I don't know. I know exactly where you are, because we have a moderator who lives in Norfolk, but not for RMC. Where are you getting your treatment?
Right now, my oncologist at the Centera Brock Center.
Okay. There's a guy at Virginia Oncology. There's a doc, African American, Janita
Dr.
Europe
Fleming?
medic. What's his name?
Fleming?
Yeah, Fleming.
That's my oncologist.
That is your oncologist.
Yes.
Okay. So we know Fleming. He knows Ancan. We have a bunch of prostate guys with him. So please tell Dr. Fleming that Ancan has an RMC group in case he has other RMC patients. If you at any and Fleming should be pretty good about talking to Masul.
Yeah.
If you have any kickback at all and you're willing to get in the car, run, you can, and you have access, you can run over to Duke and talk to Dr. Dan George, who is very, very well recognized in the field of kidney and prostate cancer, and he's on our advisory board. And I've been working with him. We only just put him on our advisory board, but I've been working with him since 2014. He's a lovely man, very smart, and he works very closely with Dr. Masoul and Dr. Tanier. So, if you have, because Fleming can, our experience with Fleming is that sometimes he can be a little rigid.
Yes.
So, if that's what you're experiencing and you need a backup, and I realize that Fleming is so convenient for you, but you can really rely on Dan George. He's great. He's really special, and in fact, he said to me that they're hoping to start some RMC trials pretty soon. So I suspect that must be with Masoul. I don't know. I haven't asked him. I could. He always responds to us quickly,
Yeah.
and he's great. So that's a good backup. The other thing I just wanted to say to the whole group is we just added Dr. George, and we also added, finally, we got Dr. Tanir's photograph on there. Some of you know Dr. Tanir. He's Dr. Masoul's mentor, and he's wonderful, right, Miss Ritchie?
Yes, he is. Awesome.
And so he's also on our advisory board. So we have 2 RMC docs now on our advisory board. That's what I wanted to say. And hello to everybody, especially Miss Ritchie, Brian, Carissa, and Captain Andre.
Hello.
Well, does anybody else have any questions?
I think Dewan had questions about chemo, didn't you?
Yes. So I knew a lot of you all definitely have been able to come on the other side of this, and I wanted to ask, how was it working through your chemo treatment?
Like, what do you mean exactly?
So virtually, how was it virtually working through your chemo? If you did work, did you not work at all,
So
or?
I actually worked while I was doing chemo, but at my job I was able to work from home and still make my appointments. When I first started chemo, so my cancer spread uh, to my lymph nodes and to my liver and my lungs. Um, so when I first started chemotherapy, it was probably about a month or two, give or take, right after I had my kidney removed. And the first time I had chemo, um, it really took an effect on me because I guess I wasn't used to it. But typically on time, the chemo didn't really hit me till like probably day 2, because I had chemo every 2 weeks. It was on a Friday, and I didn't start feeling the effects really till like maybe Sunday morning, Saturday night, and I was just really like weak, and I just didn't feel like getting out of bed really. Um, Dietary wise, the hardest part about, I guess, the cancer is fighting the chemo. So like Andre said, I used to eat just anything I could keep down, anything I liked, just to give me energy to fight the chemo, because that was the hardest part actually, was just fighting the chemo. Um, Over time, I did have to have a couple of blood transfusions because my blood count level was really low. I actually had to get an injection for my white blood cell count too, because my white blood cell count got really low too. So it helped stimulate the white blood cell growth to, you know, keep me able to have chemo, because if your counts are too low, then they won't give you chemo. So Yeah, I had to pretty much do whatever I could to keep my levels high enough to be able to receive chemo every 2 weeks. But like I said, chemo wasn't that bad. It's just, the effects of it after a couple of days here and there, for me anyway. But yeah, but I was still able to work during all of it though.
So like, how was that? Like, was it like kind of like, do you get tired in the because well, you took it on a Friday, so you're kind of
Yeah.
really you were kind of down on the weekends.
Yeah, so by the time like Monday rolled around, I was kind of coming out of it.
Okay.
So I was able to get through it. So, but do you have any other questions?
Oh, I was gonna say like Carlos, like when he first got diagnosed, he took like he didn't like work, but like when it came back, he did work, and he was a teacher. So he had to go in, but his principal was thankfully great and supportive. She had like breast cancer herself, like a survivor from that, so she was very understanding. So whenever he didn't feel like going in, he called out and he explained to her, and she was very supportive on that. And at one point too, we were he had his treatments also like on Friday, so we were flying back from Texas, and he was working at that time, so like mixed, but he kind of had to see like where he was at points. So there was there was some points where he didn't work, some points where he was able to work at as a teacher with elementary and middle school kids. So definitely a job where you have to have high energy. I feel like some points, he did enjoy being at work. It did help him. So I think that's something you just got to make sure you don't over push yourself and kind of see where you're at. Do you do a job where it's hybrid, or you're working from home, or is it in the office, or?
Thankfully, my boss is very understanding. So throughout the chemo process, I will be 100% virtual. If I choose to work, which I want to work, just to keep my mind keep busy, do something.
Yeah, I think I definitely think it does help, to keep your mind busy.
Even now, I'm just like, I'm doing nothing but waiting each day for a scan or a doctor's appointment. I'm just like, all right, let me at least call, email, do something.
No, I hear you. I used to bring it when we went to the ER. I would bring a Monopoly board, and me and Carlos would be playing Monopoly in the middle of the ER, because in New York you're waiting forever for approval.
Yeah, and Charissa always used to win.
Not always, but I am very competitive.
Mostly, Charissa used to win. Don't play with Charissa. I just want to tell you. She's got her reputation precedes her.
Noted.
Yeah,
noted.
I have to be whenever we play games here, I'm the host. I'm not allowed to participate in the games. Any other questions people have?
Carissa, Sabrina had her hand raised.
Hello again. So I wanted to ask if outside of this monthly group, which is amazing, this is so helpful. Do you have a WhatsApp chat where you can all share updates, prayer requests, praise reports, anything like that?
Oh, that's actually a good idea. If you guys want to do that, I can set up a WhatsApp. I think that's a great idea. Yeah, that definitely. I think that's good.
So, where are you, Sabrina? Where are you located?
Miami, Florida. I'm the aunt of Noah. Noah was newly diagnosed 3 weeks ago. He turned 15 a few days after diagnosis.
Right.
I'm his aunt.
You're very welcome, and it's great to see you in the group. We actually have a forum that could be used, but we've tried so many times to launch it, and it just hasn't worked. I can talk with Carissa and Richie. It might be that the WhatsApp chat is the easiest way for you people to go. It's probably more accessible than having to log into Ancan to get onto our forum each time. Miss Ritchie, don't you have a Facebook page?
Yes, we do.
So, maybe that Facebook page for the CJ Johnson Foundation might be a good spot. What do you think, Richie?
The only thing is, it is public. Maybe we could do a private uh, Facebook.
Yeah, think about it. I mean,
We could do that.
I don't know, but it is there already. But Sabrina, it's a great suggestion. Um, I've made a note, and we'll think about it. But the easiest thing may just be temporarily that WhatsApp chat. But Richie, it would be really great if your community could talk to each other. I mean, maybe this doesn't need to be private because you're all exchanging resources that are for the benefit of RMC.
Sometimes they don't want everybody to know their business. I think I don't know. It's strictly up to the group, whatever they want to do. If they want it, if it's public, then fine. I mean, we already have it out there, and if you want a private group, then we can create another group. But I do put updates on there too whenever someone has a praise report. I know Brian has had a video done and things like that. We just put it on Facebook. But it's whatever the group want. We'll try to do what we can.
The other thing I just wanted to say in that regard is if we have any new folks here today, or even old folks, please let us have your email, because that way you'll get a reminder before every meeting, or any other events that we might have. So you can either put your email in the chat room.
It's in there.
Directly to me. Send it to me. I came in late, so if you put it in early, I won't have seen it. Or you can send it to Miss Ritchie or to Carissa, and they'll pass it along. And then we signed you up, and we will definitely get you in. Okay, so now they're coming in, and I will be putting these in, and you'll get a confirmation. The other thing I wanted to say is we have a couple of some other really great groups. We have a women speaking freely group where the ladies can talk about anything, including the care partners. We have a great care partner group where we don't allow the patients to come in, so you have privacy and you can complain about your patients in security. We have an art class, which is great. We have a creative writing class that was great. If any of you are veterans, we have some, other than Captain Andre, of course. If any of you are veterans, we have some great veterans programming, which will help you get benefits. We also have a veterans speaking freely group where you can talk about integrating back into civilian life and anything else that comes across your mind. We have not seen Captain Andre in that group yet, but we would love to see Captain Andre and Veterans Speaking Freely. I better make sure he's signed up for that. But it's a really good group. So those are just a few things, and we'll put you on there. But I think you've found a really good place. I'll also put my email address in case anybody wants to reach me in there. And I see Belinda has her hand up.
Yes, I wanted to say first, thank you to everyone who is in this group and created this group and sharing your information, because it definitely helped. I was waiting for you, Rick, to come in because I was listening to one I listened to several of these, and I wanted to know. One time you said there was a link to help RMC get more funding. I don't know. It could have been 2022. I don't know what year it was. So do you, it was like you said, it was a link you was going to put in the chat with the group to help. You needed 10 names or 10 people to come up with something to help y'all get more funding. Is that still in play?
Well, I think this is probably um, something Richie and I could be working on together. I mean, we've thought many times about trying to get at grant applications. We'd love to do more grant applications. The biggest problem that we face with RMC is that there are no major drugs for RMC, so we cannot get the pharmaceutical funding that we get, say, for prostate cancer. At the same time, whenever I talk to these big companies like Johnson and Johnson and Bayer and Novartis, I'm always trying to see if they're willing to put any more money into RMC, especially because it largely impacts African Americans and Hispanics, and all these companies want to make a statement for health equity. So I'm constantly looking, but I cannot say to you that I have any direct. I don't have anything on the hook right now, but I'd like Miss Ritchie to speak to that too.
No, I'm not aware of any at this time, but I do think as they continue with treatment modalities, that may be an option as we begin to use more drugs and they see that the drugs are effective. And that's the main thing with the pharmaceutical companies is they want to make sure that before they allow you to have a grant that they will make something too because they want you to be able to use their medication. So I think as we move along and continue to make strides toward more treatment modalities, we may see the doors open in that area.
Yeah. And Belinda, something else I'd say to you, to anybody here, if you guys see an opportunity to raise funds for RMC and you need a 501c3 to be part of that, or both Richie and Ancan, both CJ Johnson and Ancan are very, very happy to work with you to endorse it and lend you whatever. We're pretty thin on resources. We've just hired a contract person to help us with grants. But if you see something, let us know, okay? Because we'll work with you to try and find money, not just for on the research side. I mean, for example, if we found research money, we'd go to Dr. Masoul or Dr. George and we'd say, can we work with you to get this? But on the social side, doing more with these groups and providing more support for you, we're only too happy to do it. So, I mean, that's the best I can do, Belinda. I'm so sorry.
No, I thought it was something where I could get it out. I mean, share it with people and help you get funding. But as soon as you do, I'm good at that. Sending
Okay.
stuff to people and telling them to join or click here or do anything, they'll do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did Belinda,
Okay.
our major fundraiser for the organization is in March when we have our Keeping It Renal Run Walk. That
Oh,
is
I'm gonna
our
be
major.
there. We're gonna be there. We're
Okay.
gonna be there.
And we're always looking for sponsors as well.
And it's in Texas, Houston, Texas, correct?
Exactly.
We'll be
Belinda,
there.
well, I know like Milton's like working on to getting like not just on the pharmaceutical side, but just getting like laws, like certain laws passed. So like getting certain things to build awareness at. So that's something maybe when you guys meet, something to talk to him about as well, because that I know he needs help with that too, things like that. George,
Oh,
see your hand
yeah,
raised.
yeah. I have one quick question for Rick. Because I'm here in the Raleigh area. I'm getting seen at UNC Chapel Hill.
Yes.
With Dr. George at Duke, because Duke is right up the street from me.
Right.
How can I get in contact with him for the possibilities of down the road? You know, because I know he says he's working hand in hand with
Yeah.
Masal and
Yep.
Samir about
Yep.
possible trials coming to Duke and stuff like that.
So we had a gent, European basketball player, Australian basketball player from your area that was in last month. And I wrote to Dan about him, and they bent over backwards to make an appointment to see him as soon as they could. He was being treated at Levine in I want to say Charleston, not Charleston. Help me, somebody. What's the big town in the south of North Carolina on the
And
South Carolina?
Charlotte, yeah, I think he's in Charlotte.
Charlotte. Yes,
Yeah.
Levine's in Charlotte, and he was so helpful, George. So my feeling is that first of all, is the UNC facility working with Dr. Masoul?
Yeah, yeah. Me and Ty, he goes to. We got the same oncologists. They work with
Okay.
Dr. Tanier and Masal with everything.
Oh, okay. So one of the problems we had with Levine was that they weren't really reaching out to Dr. Masoul, and so we needed to sort of break that down, and it's done. And frankly, I don't even know where this gent is in terms of his treatment. But we said to him, we think you're a lot better at Duke than in Charleston if you in Charlotte if you're willing to go there. I would say this: if you want a second opinion and you want to visit with Dr. George, just let me know and we'll figure out how to make it happen. Or you can contact Duke, tell them you're from ANCAN, tell them that you're an RMC patient and that you'd like to see Dr. George. And I am 95% certain they'll respond pretty quickly.
Okay, I'll just shoot you over an email then. That's good.
Yeah, but tell me what you want, right? I mean, I'll make a note of your email, but you have to tell me what you'd like to do. If you want a second opinion right now,
Oh no, yeah. I mean, I'm fine with them working because they're doing a great job working with Dr.
okay,
Tanier and Masal. I'm just saying, as far as like, I haven't heard anything with UNC bringing any trials and stuff like that. So I was just
right.
thinking ahead, just in case.
George, it's great. Look, to be honest, I never even knew. I mean, I told you I've known Dan George 11 years. I didn't even know he had an interest in kidney. And then when we brought him on the advisory board, I started reading that he was doing. He's also published a lot in the kidney area, and he's very well recognized. And then when I actually spoke to him, I said, Dan, we got an RMC group. Oh, he said, yeah. He said, I'm really hoping to do some research in RMC. So that's what I would say.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Any other questions before we wrap up, guys?
Another one you're going to say?
Yeah, I had a question, but it's very specific, so bear with me. It's actually from my brother. He's been very invested in my case. He does so much research. He's honestly, he could be a little oncologist himself at this point. He's really into the medicine, into the proteins, how the body works, how you respond. He's shared so much with me, the literature, the medication. I'm really grateful for that. He shared something with me today that he wanted me to ask the group if you guys have ever heard of these things. I have trouble pronouncing them, so I don't know if I should send them in the chat. I'm going to do my best. Pembrolizumab.
Pembrolizumab. Yep. We can
Yeah,
talk about that.
I'm sorry.
You want to go one by one, or do you want to
Oh,
tell us all of it?
just I was just shooting my shot. If anyone knows anything about it and they'd like to share,
Right.
he listens to all of these recorded sessions afterwards, so
Right,
that's how he'll get the information.
right. So pembrolizumab, most of you have probably seen advertised. It's also, the commercial name is Keytruda because it's everywhere. It's a anti-PD-1 immune oncology drug, and it brings the T cells to the drug to fight the drug. That's it in its simplest form. Now, it only works for certain folks if they have certain characteristics and for certain cancers. It's not a good cancer for RMC because RMC is what's called a cold tumor, like prostate. So if you try to use Keytruda or pembrolizumab with RMC, you don't get a result. I mean, they're working, and I can't remember how we had I had this discussion recently with a doc on RMC, but they are working. I think Dr. Masoul is working to try and figure out, maybe this is what Dr. George is doing. How do we turn this cold tumor into a hot tumor where it's receptive to this type of immuno-oncology therapy? I am not aware of any, at this point, any immuno-oncology drug that they're testing for RMC. How about you, Miss Ritchie?
No, because when they did have the trial with immunotherapy, it was basically feeding the cancer. So I think they're working on something else now as it relates to immunotherapy.
Okay.
Next,
Me and
please.
my wife. Oh, my bad.
Go ahead.
I was saying,
Go ahead.
we had asked Dr. Masao a couple weeks ago actually about this same one, Keytruda, and exactly what Richie said. He says that it causes it to grow. He's like, that's not one he would recommend because it would cause it to grow. And he went into a whole spiel detailing everything. How Dr. Masao do, but he broke it down. He was like, no, that's one of the ones he would not
And
recommend.
I want to flag that, like, that is exactly what they wanted me to do. They literally said exactly what Rick said, was it's the commercial Keytruda, and they were planning on giving me that. So it was, if I didn't have that pathological report and that little bit of space, that's where they would have treated me on. And they said I would have never needed chemo, and I could have just did that for a year, every 3 weeks.
Yeah, but you see, this is exactly where the problem lies. When you get a doc who doesn't understand your tumor and it's a rare cancer, they're going to throw stuff at it that doesn't work. We see this in other cancers. Now, if you would go and probably, was that Fleming that wanted to do that, or what? No.
Oh, that was my urologist who,
Right. So you get to Fleming. Fleming knows right away that ain't going to work,
Right.
So then he reaches out. This is why it's so important that all of you have a genitourinary medical oncologist who's in charge and the quarterback treating your disease. And even more important, that they don't have an ego and they're willing to cooperate with Dr. Masoul or Dr. Tanier or somebody who really understands RMC, Dr. George, somebody who knows that. Can't stress the importance, right, Miss Ritchie?
Exactly. It's very important. Speak up. You have to be an advocate for yourself.
Okay, Mr. Alex, what else? Monsieur Alex, what's the next one on the list?
Only one more, because he sent me two.
Yes.
Nivolumab, also known as Opdivo.
Yes.
Divo.
So nivolumab.
I'm butchering these pronunciations. I've never heard of these before.
That's okay. Nivolumab is very, very similar to pembrolizumab. And everything that we say for pembrolizumab is pretty much true of nivolumab. It's made by a different company. It works the same way. If I'm not mistaken, it's also an anti-PD-1. I'm pretty certain it's an anti-PD-1. It might be an anti-PD-L1, which is slightly different, but it's all
PD-1.
the same thing. Sorry?
It's a PD-1.
It's a PD-1. So they're both anti-PD-1 drugs. PD stands for programmed death, in case you're wondering. And it refers to the cells that they're killing, programmed death, killing off the cancer cells. But nivolumab and these are all immuno-oncology drugs, and as you've heard tonight, we don't think right now that RMC is a good candidate. I don't know for a fact, but my guess is that if Pembro stimulates the cancer, the RMC, then nivolumab is going to do the same thing.
That just to add, that was one of the immunotherapy drugs that was tried. That I had tried back in 2019. Not very effective, just FYI.
And what happened when you were on it, and how did you respond? How did you respond to it? What were the side effects? What happened when you were on it, Captain?
The side effects wasn't. I mean, it wasn't as bad as chemo. Like I didn't have like nausea or anything like that. I really didn't. My body handled the immunotherapy pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't have any like real deal issues. My hair did start to grow back a little bit because I wasn't doing chemo. So, but other than that, it wasn't that effective.
No, it's not effective at all.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
They closed that trial down.
Yep.
You see, a lot of times with these trials, they will include solid tumors, all solid tumors. So it's not a specific RMC trial. It's a more general trial, but it will include RMC because RMC is a solid tumor. So, and I suspect, I mean, I remember back in 2019, there were loads of solid tumor trials for these immunotherapy drugs. So, and they can have some pretty nasty side effects. So yes.
It's getting
Any other
late.
questions? Or is it soup yet? Can we go home now?
We need to go home.
Can we go home now?
All right. Well, if you guys have any other questions, I know we put our numbers in the chat as well, so feel free to text any of us. I'll look into doing that WhatsApp thing. We'll make the decision on that if we decide. But Andre, do you want to close this out?
Sure, I'll close this out. Appreciate everyone joining the call tonight and sharing your stories and your shared experiences and giving updates and also answering questions for a lot of the new members to our group. So I just want to extend a warm welcome to the new members and just say stay encouraged. I know RMC can be a daunting journey, but try your best to stay encouraged. Like I said before, we have several members in this group who definitely came out on the other side. So feel free to ask any questions offline if you need answers to anything. Continue to be an advocate for yourself and your treatment plan. So if your doctor's not communicating with Dr. Masal, definitely, speak up. Yeah, that's all I got. The next RMC meeting is October 14th. So uh looking forward to seeing everybody there next month.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Night.
Have a good night. Bye.
Good night,
Have a good night.